Two colleagues with identical skills and experience, same company, same department, same responsibilities. 1 year later, one was still in the same position, the other was promoted twice with a 40% salary increase. The difference? Not technical skills, not education, not even hard work. It was how they communicated. Today, I'm going to show you the exact communication skills that can get you promoted. Skills that most people completely overlook. Communication, the most important skill. Hey, but let's me first share something surprising. According to LinkedIn's global survey of 2,000 business leaders, communication skills are the single most sought after quality in candidates being considered for promotion, ranking above technical expertise, leadership potential, and even measurable results. Yet most of us spend years perfecting our technical skills while investing almost nothing in how we communicate those skills to others. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share 5 specific communication skills that have helped my clients earn promotions, raises, and recognition. These are 5 real-life examples from all levels of jobs, including data analyst, marketing coordinator, engineer to director level. The first skill is so simple that you might dismiss it until you see how it dramatically changed Rachel's career trajectory in just 6 weeks. She is a brilliant financial analyst at a global company, the person everyone relied on for accurate data and insightful reports. We all have them in our organizations. But despite her expertise, she had been passed over for promotion not once, twice. During our first conversation, she told me, "I don't understand what's happening. My work speaks for itself." And that was exactly the problem. Her work wasn't speaking for itself because work never speaks for itself. The first career-changing communication skill is what I call strategic visibility. Most people link their excellent work will get noticed automatically. But here's the reality. In today's busy workplace, good work without good communication is almost invisible, and you are invisible. Here's what we changed in Rachel's approach. Instead of just sending her analysis reports via email, she began adding 3-sentence summary at the top. This analysis revealed 3 key opportunities that could increase department's efficiency by 15%. I've highlighted the most significant on page 2. I'm available to discuss implementation strategies if this aligns with our priorities. She also began sending brief updates to stakeholders. Just wanted to share that the analysis I mentioned last week identified a way to reduce processing time by 20%. Happy to explain methodology if you're interested. Within 6 weeks, she was invited to present her findings to senior leadership. 2 months later, she received a promotion. So what is this? This is that I am not just a report sender, but someone who has a point of view on the report being sent. And I know what my audience really care about, in this case, efficiency. Report? Even GPT can write for you, isn't it? Now, before I share the second skill, I want you to think about your own situation. When was the last time you deliberately communicated the value of your work to decision makers? Not in a boastful way, but in a helpful, solution-oriented manner. If you're not doing this regularly, you're leaving your career advancement unaddressed. It is really important you pick this up. The second advancing communication skill is problem to solution framing. Let me share with you how this transformed Michael's career. Michael was a talented software developer who constantly identified problems in companies' systems. In meetings, he would say things like, "The current database architecture has major flaws. or this code is inefficient and needs to be rewritten. While he was technically correct, his communication style was creating resistance rather than recognition. I mean, who likes being told that you're doing something wrong? That is not the way to communicate. Here's the simple change we made. Instead of leading with problems, Michael began framing his observations as solutions. I found a way to improve our database performance by 30% with 3 specific changes, or I've identified an approach that could reduce our code complexity while increasing speed. Same insights, exactly the same insights, completely different impact. Within 3 months, Michael was asked to lead a system optimization product, checked, a responsibility usually given to senior developers. This became his pathway to promotion. Don't people rub the wrong way, even if you're saying the correct thing. The difference between pointing out problems and presenting solutions might seem subtle, but the impact on how others perceive your value is dramatic. I've seen this simple shift help people in every industry, from healthcare to manufacturing to education, you name it. Nobody likes being told that they're doing things incorrectly. Therefore, your solution is more organization savvy. The third communication skill that fast tracks career is strategic question formulation. Most professionals underestimate the power of asking the right question at the right time. Let me share what happened with Priya, a marketing coordinator who wanted to move into a managerial role. In team meetings, while her colleagues were focused on sharing their accomplishments, Priya began asking questions that elevated the entire conversation. How does this campaign align with our quarterly goals? Or what would success look like for this project beyond just the matrix that we are focused on right now? These questions demonstrated her strategic thinking without her having to explicitly say, I'm a strategic thinker. Her manager later told her, your questions show that you're thinking at a higher level than your current position. Within 4 months, she was promoted to a managerial role. Here's why this works. Research from Harvard Business School shows that asking thoughtful questions signals intelligence and capability more effectively than trying to have all the answers. It positions you as someone who thinks beyond their current role. Always go back to the eventual vision, the North Star, why we are doing what we're doing. But here's a fourth communication skill that even more powerful for career advancement. And it's probably the opposite of what you've been taught about workplace communication. Often we learn wrong things and then wonder why things don't change for us. The fourth career advancing skill is what I called controlled vulnerability. Most of us were taught to never show weakness at work, to keep your emotions under check. But strategic, controlled vulnerability can actually accelerate career growth. Let me explain what I mean. James was a senior manager known for his competence, but not for his connection with his team. When faced with challenges, he would say things like, well, figure it out. Don't worry about the obstacle, just get in there and get the job done. We worked on incorporating controlled vulnerability into his communication. During a difficult project, instead of glossing over challenges, he told his team, I'm not entirely sure how we'll solve this particular issue yet. I have some ideas, but I'd like to hear your thoughts. First, because you might see angles I am missing. His team's engagement skyrocketed. More importantly, his bosses noticed the improved team performance and his ability to bring the best in others, a key qualification for executive positions. 6 months later, he was promoted to a director level. The key is balanced. Sharing enough to be authentic without oversharing in a way that undermines confidence. When used strategically, controlled vulnerability demonstrates security in your abilities and also your emotional intelligence. Both are crucial for high-level positions. Now, controlled vulnerability informs that your vulnerability can connect but not make you look stupid. Now, I want you to think about a current challenge in your work. How might sharing some appropriate uncertainty actually opens the door to better solutions, and how your leadership potential. Remember, perfect people aren't relatable, and unrelatable people rarely get promoted to leadership position. The fifth and the final communication skill that accelerates career growth is recognition redirection. This technique is particularly powerful because it demonstrates both confidence and leadership potential. Let me show you how it transformed Lisa's career. Lisa was a customer service team member who consistently received positive feedback from customers. But instead of simply saying thank you when her manager praised her work, she began using recognition redirection. Thank you, I appreciate that. I was actually able to resolve that situation quickly because of the excellent training David provided last month. Or when praised in a team meeting, that's kind of you to mention. What really made the difference was how our team collaborated on developing that new approach. Can you feel the difference? Within a year, Lisa was promoted to team lead, then to department manager. Her boss later told her, "Your ability to build others up while maintaining high standards show me you were ready for leadership." This technique works because it demonstrates a rare combination: confidence without ego and leadership without authority. These are precisely the qualities companies are looking for when identifying candidates that they can promote. Let me show you how to put these 5 skills into practice. Strategic visibility. After completing important work, send a brief email to key stakeholders with a simple format. 1 sentence on what you did, 1 sentence on the impact, and 1 sentence offering additional information if required. Problem to solution framing. Before next meeting, reframe any problems you've identified using this template. I found a way to improve a specific situation by a specific benefit through a brief approach. How? Strategic question formulation. Prepare 2 to 3 questions for your next meeting that demonstrate bigger picture thinking. Like, how does this connect to our department's annual goals? Or what would make this project exceedingly successful versus just successful? Controlled vulnerability. When facing a challenge, try this approach. Here's what I know for certain. Here's what I'm still figuring out. I'd value your perspective on this specific aspect. Finally, recognition redirection. The next time you receive praise, practice responding with, "Thank you, I appreciate that. What really helped was," mention colleague, team effort, or organizational support. It shows that you have an organization savvy, a team spirit. I've seen these 5 techniques transform careers across industries, from finance professionals to healthcare workers to technology specialists. Remember these key principles. Excellent without visibility limits your career growth. How you frame challenges shapes how others see your value. Questions can demonstrate capability more effectively than answers can. Strategic vulnerability shows leadership readiness. Sharing recognition demonstrates leadership mindset. But here's what ties all of this together, packages it in a way that it brings success to you. The most important thing to understand is that these communication skills aren't about manipulation or self-promotion. They're about accurately conveying your true values so the decision makers can see your full potential. Your excellent work deserves to be recognized. These communication skills simply ensure that your contributions are visible, your thinking is understood, and your leadership potential is clear to everybody. What's one communication skill you'll start implementing this week? Share in the comments below. I'd love to help you apply these principles to your specific situations. And if you want more strategies to advance your career through better communication, hit that subscribe button. In the coming videos, I'm sharing 3 conversation techniques that can help you build relationships with senior executives. Till then, everybody, stay storied.